Hi, I'm Emma. If this is your first time here, I want you to know something from the start. This space is built on a simple, powerful belief that when we give, truly, openly, from the heart, we also receive. Maybe not always in the way we expect, but giving is one of the oldest and purest laws of life. It's how love flows, how healing happens, how stories pass from one soul to another. This is BookSoul, a podcast where stories aren't just read, they're felt. Where every book is a doorway into the soul, and every episode is a gift from my heart to yours. It's me offering you something small, a voice, a story, a pause in your day, in the hope that it gives you something bigger. Reflection, connection, maybe even hope. Let me set the scene. We meet Ella Rubenstein, a 40-year-old woman living in Northampton, Massachusetts. She's got what many would call a good life. A big house, a husband who provides, 3 kids. From the outside, she checks every box. But on the inside, Ella is silent. Not peaceful, just muted. She's disconnected from herself, from joy, from feeling alive. She cooks, she cleans, she smiles when she's supposed to. But inside, there's this aching emptiness, a sense that this can't be all there is. Then, one day, Ella takes on a job reading and reviewing manuscripts for a literary agency. The first book they send her? A novel called Sweet Blasphemy, written by a Sufi author named Aziz Zahara. Now this is where it gets interesting. Sweet Blasphemy tells the story of the 13th century poet Rumi and the mysterious wanderer who changed his life, Shams of Tabriz. It's 2 timelines in one book, Ella's story in the modern world, and Rumi's story centuries ago in Konya. Who was Rumi? Jalaluddin. Rumi wasn't just a scholar. He wasn't just a man with books and theories. He was a soul lost in the maze of life, searching for something more, something deeper than just religious rules or intellectual knowledge. He was a man who had mastered the outside world, but inside he felt a void, a longing he couldn't fill with anything other than true love. He knew about God, but hadn't yet truly felt God in his soul. Who was Shams of Tabriz? And then came Shams of Tabriz, a wandering mystic, a man who didn't follow society's rules. He was the kind of soul that didn't care about appearances or approval. His only pursuit was the truth, and his belief was simple. Love is the only thing that connects us to the divine. Shams was looking for someone who felt this truth, someone whose heart was open enough to receive this kind of love. When he met Rumi, he knew right away that Rumi was the one. The meeting that shattered everything. When Rumi met Shams, it wasn't a gentle encounter. It wasn't a quiet conversation. It was a spiritual earthquake. Shams didn't look at Rumi with reverence. He didn't see him as a great scholar. Instead, he saw a man trapped inside his own mind, hiding from the heart's truth. Shams looked Rumi straight in the eyes and asked questions that cut to the core of his being. Do you really know God? Or do you just talk about him? Have you loved deeply? Or have you just learned to talk about love? Is your soul truly awake? Or are you just going through the motions? These questions, they were like fire. They burned away everything Rumi had once thought he knew. And in that burning, Rumi began to feel God in a way he never had before. A sacred connection. Their bond wasn't like any ordinary relationship. It was a spiritual connection, an intense, mystical love that transcended the physical. It wasn't about being together in the conventional sense. It was about 2 souls awakening each other, challenging each other, and helping each other reach the divine. Shams became Rumi's mirror. Through him, Rumi saw his soul. He saw his deepest fears and his most profound desires. He saw the parts of himself that were hidden, buried under layers of social expectations and religious duty. And in that mirror, Rumi started to discover the love he had been seeking all his life. The pain of separation. But, as often happens with love that is too deep, the world didn't understand. Rumi's followers, his family, even his friends, grew jealous of Shams. They saw the changes in Rumi. They felt threatened. They didn't understand what was happening. And so, one day, Shams disappeared. Some say he was killed by those who couldn't understand his power. Others say he left willingly to protect Rumi from the world's judgment. Rumi was broken. He lost not just a friend, but a soulmate, someone who had touched the very core of his being. A new beginning through grief. But from that loss, Rumi did not stay in despair. Number. He became something new. Out of his pain came poetry. His heart, which had been opened by Shams, began to pour out beautiful verses, verses filled with love, longing, and devotion to the divine. His loneliness turned into connection, and his soul became a vessel for the most profound spiritual poetry the world has ever known. The gift of love. The story of Rumi and Shams isn't just a tale from history. It's a love story, a story of self-discovery, awakening, and spiritual connection. It teaches us that love isn't always easy. Love isn't always gentle. Sometimes love is a force that shakes you awake, that breaks you down, so you can build something new, something more profound. Through their bond, Rumi learned that true love is not just a feeling. It's a path, a journey, a giving of yourself fully, without fear, without hesitation. It's the kind of love that doesn't fit into the world's expectations. It's the love that frees us from everything that binds us. As Ella starts reading Aziz's manuscript, something unexpected happens. She begins to feel again. Something stirs in her chest, something she can't name yet. The story isn't just beautiful, it's personal. It's like the characters are whispering directly to her. And here's the wild part. She reaches out to the author, sends him an email, and he replies. What begins as a professional exchange turns into something intimate, vulnerable, alive. They begin to talk, to share. Ella, the woman who felt invisible, starts to be seen again, by a stranger who speaks her language without even trying. Ella's life changes the moment she begins reading a manuscript titled Sweet Blasphemy, a fictional account of Rumi and Shams' legendary spiritual friendship. As she turns each page, the borders between past and present begin to dissolve. Ella sends Aziz an email, just a short, professional message. But Aziz responds, and his words? They feel different, gentle, deep, curious, full of soul. Their exchange begins, slow at first, but filled with honest questions and raw answers. He asks her what she believes in, what she fears, what she longs for. Every email is a mirror, and Ella starts seeing herself not as a wife or a mother or a forgotten woman, but as a soul. Aziz is a traveler, a spiritual wanderer, a Sufi in the modern world. But more than that, he's a giver. He gives Ella a chance to rediscover who she truly is. He doesn't promise her love in the traditional sense. He offers her presence, truth, reflection. That's the power of spiritual connection. He tells her things like, love is the water of life, and a lover is a soul of fire. The universe turns differently when fire loves water. Their relationship isn't about possession. It's about awakening. And for the first time in her life, Ella feels seen. One day, Ella makes a choice. She leaves everything behind, her predictable life, her marriage, her comfort zone, and she goes to meet Aziz in person. She travels all the way to Istanbul. Their meeting is quiet, emotional, spiritual. They don't need fireworks. Their love is in the silence, the eyes, the space between words. But then comes the hardest truth of all. Aziz is sick, terminally ill. He knew it all along. And still, he chose to give. He gave her love. He gave her honesty. He gave her a key to a door she didn't know she needed to open. And Ella? She didn't run. She stayed. When Aziz dies, Ella is not broken. She is reborn. She sells her house. She starts traveling. She begins writing. She becomes, finally, the person she was always meant to be. Because Aziz didn't just love her. He showed her what love could be. A gift, not a contract. A flame, not a cage. a mirror, not a mask. What makes this novel so powerful is its structure. It's a story within a story. But more than that, then it's a book of truths, spiritual truths, emotional truths, the kind of truths that don't just stay on the page, they follow you into your real life. And at the heart of this story are Shams' 40 rules of love, each one a whisper from the soul, each one a mirror, each one a challenge to love deeper, live freer, and give without fear. Rule number 1: how we see God is a direct reflection of how we see ourselves. If you believe in a punishing, angry God, it's likely you're also hard on yourself. If you believe in a forgiving, loving God, you're probably learning to love who you are. This rule reminded me to look inward when the world feels harsh, because maybe the world isn't cruel. Maybe I just need to treat myself more gently. Rule number 2: the path to the truth is a labor of the heart, not of the head. We've been raised to overthink everything, but truth, real, raw truth, you feel it in your gut. It's that ache when you know you've hurt someone. It's the warmth when you give without expecting anything back. This book taught me that love isn't an emotion, it's a practice. It's a daily decision to give more than you take, to forgive faster, to believe in magic, even when your heart's been broken. It taught me that God doesn't live in the sky. He lives in kindness, in eye contact, in the hands we hold and the pain we share. It taught me that when we give, truly, openly, the universe always finds a way to give back. Maybe not in the way we expected, but always in the way we needed. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for letting me give you this story. If something inside you feels stirred, if you're thinking about your own life a little differently now, then this moment between us wasn't just a podcast. It was a gift. I want to tell you what I learned from this book. This isn't a love story in the way we're used to. It's not about a perfect couple or a happy ending. It's about awakening. It's about the kind of love that's the magic of stories. They travel from soul to soul, changing us, slowly, quietly, beautifully. This is BookSoul. I'll see you in the next chapter. Until then, keep giving, keep becoming, and remember, you are more than your routines. You are more than your fears. You are love in motion.